Hello everyone, this is Arnav. Welcome back to my video again. So in this video we'll try to complete some of the objectives. So we'll first try to parse Sumologic data from a specified logs. From there we'll try to find number of events that has occurred or activities from a specific source that we are parsing from. We'll try to do time slice for that events. So time slice will tell us how many time any event has occurred for a specific time frame. So for example, we are parsing data for any log or any collector sources for 7 days or 3 days. So using time slice, for example, we can time slice by 1 minute, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 7 days, 3 days. So what it will give us is like any specific events, how many time it has occurred in 30 minutes or 1 hour within that time frame that I've parsing, like within the 7 days of time frame, how many times a event occurred for 30 minutes. So you'll understand more while we'll parse it in the Sumologic. Then we'll try to source the counted events. So sorting will give us we'll arrange the data based on highest to lowest amount of data count. Most occurrence we'll try to find out or list down top 10, top 20 or top 5 events that has occurred. We'll try to look at GeoLookup. So GeoLookup will we'll try to find out different locations for like such as city name, country name, longitude, latitude for each specific source IPs. Lastly, we'll create some panel and dashboard to have an overview page where we'll have a place to look at all the data together that we have parsed in the previous not previous in the objective that we have completed before creating the panels. So let's move into the main part. So I have already selected a source here, which is Apache access log, and I have defined a time frame for the last 7 days. It will depends how many days you want to view, or how many days log data you want to view, or the messages. It could be 1 month, it could be 7 days, it could be last 24 hours. So for me, for this one example, I'm going for last 7 days. So after you selecting data, selecting the time frame, you press enter or click on the search button. You have to always do that whenever you are making any changes in the source data. So it will load up the data here. So next, what I'll do is try to parse these messages from here. So for now, I'll not explain what is the log here explaining. Rather, I will say, let's say what I'll try to parse here. So for example, in these messages, these are the log messages from Apache access log. So Apache is a server, and which when someone's visit the when web server, it creates a different access logs. Like if I'm accessing a web server which is created based on Apache, it will create a log each activities or each search I'm doing, or every time I visit that web server. So as far as now, I'll tell you this. Rather, if I try to explain it more, it will make you more confused. Or what you can do is like try to understand Apache log, what Apache access logs defines. You can Google it easily and find out various explanations for Apache logs, and you'll have a better explanation in the documentation format, which will explain easily for you to understand Apache logs. Any sort of logs you try to parse, if you don't understand it, try searching it in the Google, in addition to take help from AI, because if you want to have an understanding in layman's way, AI will explain you in in a way so that a 5 years old can understand logs. So let's not drag the conversation in this, what logs means here. So let's move to the logs. So any logs that I'll try to parse, I have to select a specific message. So how you'll know what is message and what to select? So when you parse a message, you'll see that it shows us two sorts of category. One is the serial number, one is time, one is message. So we always select the messages to parse. You don't need to select all the stuff here. And also whenever if you ever select this, it will never show you the options for parsing. You can add the selected text as or, but it will be more complicated for you to understand. So right now just you can follow along with me. So you select any specific message, whatever logs you have, select it, then right click on it, then parse selected text. So whenever you select any message that you want to parse, you right click on it. I'm saying it again for your understanding, trying to go slow. You'll right click on it, it will give you some option. You'll see parse selected text. Don't worry about what are the other options saying. Just for now, to learning about parsing, just follow along with me. Select parse selected text. From here it will open a window where it will create a text box field where all the selected text messages that you have selected will be shown here, and there will be a fields in the below with a text entry field. So each time I select any text in the field from here, it will give us option click to extract this value, which means whenever I click which is asking me like to extract this value. So let's make it simplify. So if I want to parse this data from here, so it will I will select this one and it will give an option for click to extract this value. When I click on it, it will replace it with a star value or asterisk value. We call it in Sumologic at wildcard. So it will look for similar values in the other log messages and try to find the similar data. So when you replace it with a wildcard, we have to define a field for each extracting values from the messages. So for example, I have selected the source messages. I have to define here a field like source IP. It will be comma separated. Then next I'll move to another text that I want to parse from the text. I'll select it. It will give me an option to click to extract this value. Usually I call it timestamp. You can name it time value, time date, time, whatever it is, whatever you want to put for that specific field. Put it as timestamp. Then I select the get value here. So I'm selecting this text. Let's say I want to extract this value also. I'll say HTTP method. Then I say HTTP path. I'm just changing this as a part of my writing organizations, or you can call it as an OCD for me to organize my writing so that it constantly follows what I'm writing. So this one is HTTP version. HTTP code is, or status code for HTTP, or response code you can call it, or HTTP response code. This is the response size, and the rest of the things are user strings, user agent. So every web browser has a user agent which tells about the user's browser type or the types of application an user using to access a web browser. So one thing, remember that I am not selecting anything in like whenever I'm selecting any text or value inside a double quote, I'm not selecting the double quote because sometimes it tends to contaminate the values with the double quotations or with the brackets. So here you can also, if you have noticed that I didn't selected the brackets here while selecting extracting the timestamp values, because sometimes when I do this it might give you an error. And also it is an universal thing that if you keep some of the stuffs, it might be common in the messages, so that whenever it is parsing the data, it can refer to some of the items that is available in the messages or logs. So after putting appropriate field, so be sure to that you have one field for each wildcard. One for source code, I have one for timestamp, one for HTTP method, one for I have HTTP path, one for I have HTTP version, one for I have status code, one for response size or code, one for user agent. So I'll put submit. So when I put submit, it automatically inserts the parsing code or the query here in my log search here. So I'll press enter. So it will extract the overall data here, but it doesn't give me any value or date information to create a graph yet. So to create a graph yet, I have to start by searching how many times any event has occurred. So for example, I want to find out like what is the count of a source IP here. I have to define with different keywords, like by count by, or I want to search by timestamp. I have to define in another keywords like count by. Then maybe I can sort it out by how many times each IP address, source IPs, has been trying to, accessing our Apache server. So I will write count by. This is an universal method for any sort of logs you'll work with in the Sumologic. If you go to any other sim tools like Splunk, then Datadog, or any other sort of, it will vary, but the idea will be similar. How you'll write the queries for the other stuff, it will vary, but the idea will always be similar, or it will always follow the universal or global pattern where how you will search the logs or queries, parse the data. So let's say I want to search by all these data. I can also write by each data specifically. Let's say I want to start by user agent, count by user agent. I'll just enter the user agent. So it will show me only the user agent for the last 7 days. So one thing you will notice that it doesn't show me it might not show me all the data. So it depends if the message that I'm parsing, if it is only occurred for a couple of times, like here you can see it's not that much, it's only, you can say, like 9 different user agent we can see here. So which means like for this specific messages, we can see that the user agents are this. So for example, like for specific messages we have here, it is showing these amounts of log messages. Maybe there could be other different sort of log messages we need to parse separately to find out more information about user agents. So listen, right now we have a user agent here which giving us a count. So from here what you can do is like you can save the logs for this specific data, or what you can do is like I can create a dashboard as I go. I'm parsing to create the dashboard. So let's say for now I don't want to create the dashboard now, so I want to see other data. So what I can do is like I can comment it out using forward slash, then I'll go to a next line, or you can work, you don't need to go to next line, you can work in the same line. But if you have put any comment here, it will comment out the whole line for any date, any keywords you will write. So it's better I'll go to a next line by pressing shift and enter. So I'll do again count by, let's say, source IP time. So let's say I want to do for all the items, so I'll do enter. Now it will give me the data or information for all the data as a table format. So let's say this is the information that I want to see as a occurrence value. So this covers our this portion. Sumologic parsing, have done it, finding occurrence of events and activity. So this is counting. The counting an event is like finding the count by is the event occurrence, finding the event occurrence or activities that has taken place for each specific source, each specific logs from the source. So let's move to the next part. Let's say I want to find the next. Let's move the time slice. Let's say I want to find time slice. So sorry, hold on a bit. So let's say I want to find the time slice. So anytime you count by is always the last operation for you. So whenever you're writing any keyword, so let's say I want to do time search, time slice, sorry, not search, time slice. So it will always come before the count by. So count by is the last operation you'll do that will give us the end result. So let's say I would write the time slice. Let's say time slice for last. So whenever you're writing any query, it gives you an example here also. You can keep your eyes open here and see. Let's say I want to do time slice for 1 day. You can do 5 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day, 7 day, 3 day. So when I'm doing a time slice, it gives me value of each day, how many times, like 1 day time occurrence for each user strings, user agents, or from the source IPs. So you see now it doesn't give us an end result because we don't have any count by. So count by is, you can say, like it gives us a ultimate result where you can create a dashboard. So for time slice, so you notice that whenever I'm writing a time slice data, like counting time slice, I'm putting a underscore before. So in the Sumologic, when you are count by, you are using any keywords to search anything, like for example Timeslice and count by, so it's counting any informations. So let me show you here. So when I'm doing a count by search, so it's counting a data for based on the Timeslice. So it gives us a time for each event occurrence, and it's counting the event by a keywords it's creating. So underscore count. So the data it has created here, it is shows here time, but underlyingly it is a Timeslice underscore Timeslice. Like here it shows count, but in the result it shows underscore count. So similarly Timeslice here, it might shows us as time, but it is as essentially underscore Timeslice. So when you press enter, it shows us the Timeslice by count by Timeslice. You see, each data they are showing us like for 1 day activities. So let's say we have completed this part, Timeslice. Then sorting. Let's say the data that we have right now, we want to sort it based on the count, highest to lowest. What I can do is like sort by. To sort by, so let's say we have started with the Timeslice. It gives us 1 day time value. So we came to the aggregate page using the count by Timeslice. Now we want to sort the count by based on the highest number. So what we can do, we will follow the same thing. So you see, this is the count by. So what you can do is like count by. So when you are writing the sort by, it gives you options like count by ascending or descending order. So if you write, let's say ascending, it will sort by lowest to highest. If you like, I'm not sure, yeah, descending, it will sort by highest to lowest. So if you don't write anything, it will by default sort by highest to lowest. So it sorted our data. So we are done with the we are done with the sorting. Yeah. So now let's say we want to see the data for top 10 value or top 5 values. We already have top 5 values. Let's say we want to do for top 3 values. So we can do top 2 or 3 underscore count top 3 time slice. So you see, it also gives you an example, time slice by count. So it will list down only the top 3 count. Let's say I'm counting by ascending, it will still give us the top 3, like whatever the top 3 counts, top 3, or we can do like top 3 as least. Let's see. Okay, it will not work here. Okay. So can do count. So when you are doing ascending to descending, it will still do the count by top 3, because top will always give you the top count of the top occurrence of the count. So we can say we are done with the we're done with the most occurrence. So now let's go to the GeoLookup part. So let's say we don't need this one. Also we don't need this one. So we have already parsed defined here. What I can do is like uh, lookup. See, it gives me options to have some reference, so I can start writing, seeing the examples: latitudes, longitude, city name, country name, continent, from geolocation on IP equal to source IP. So I press enter. So it will look up from based on the city, continent, country name. Get. So lookup is another keyword search for. So it only works with the IP. Without IP, it will not work appropriately. There is another keyword search for IP lookup. So you can always refer to GeoLookup in the Sumologic docs. Sumologic doc. If you face any problem, just search Google. GeoIP. You can use this one. This is smaller, but GeoIP. So IP GeoIP address count by longitude, latitude. You can write this one also. So you see parse remote IP, GeoIP remote IP count by latitude, sort to count. So it gives you the same view. So any I would say like Sumologic has a very wonderful documentation. If you go through it, you learn a lot of things. I believe not most of the sim tools has like very detailed documentation. I know like their tutorial could be sometimes confusing, but I know my tutorial also might look confusing to you, but their documentation also clear up whatever the issue you're facing as you go. Also, if you go to the Sumologic here, you can find the cheat sheet for the search. So let's move to the part. So I'm doing this. So let's say we want to see the geo IP. Wait. Geo IP. Then I'll do source IP. So when you do geo by source IP, it by default get the information that you need it for. You see, I've commented out the rest of the stuff, but still it shows me the city, country name, country code, latitude, longitude, this way. So this is much more easier than writing the longer keyword searching. So from here we can work with the, so you see if we use the GeoIP, we don't even write to like the city name. We can directly search by count by city. It will just give me the city. I can write by country code. It will give me the country code. Sorry. Sometimes you might notice that you don't have a name for the city, so it doesn't mean that it doesn't have any name, but rather it is not able to define a name for the city. So for example, here you can see it is in the Netherlands, but it cannot, the latitude is not good enough to pinpointly find any city name. And one of the things you have noticed that it is 404, so which means it is giving an error, server error, so it is not able to establish any connections. So yeah, you might face it, but don't worry about it. So this is how we'll able to find out the count by city. Then you can sort it out based on our count by top city. So let's say I want to do only longitude, latitude to create a map similar to the one that we saw in the, so we do same way, count by longitude latitude, then from the graph we just select the map chart. That's how you create this cool graph. Let's see. So this covers our GeoIP lookup. Sorry. So this covers this. So now let's move to creating panel. So creating panel is like the easiest option, easiest thing, because since we have already created all the informations we needed. So let's start from the beginning. So we have created started with the user agent. So let's start with the user agent, count by user agent. So let's say I want to keep it as a, so when you want to create a panel or graphs, it will give the option here in the after putting a count by. So be sure to use only one count by, because in the query log search it supports only one count by. So for example, if I want to do multiple count by, let's say, it will give you an error. So you cannot do it here. Do the same way. So every time you do a count by, it is always remember that after count by it comes sort by. After count by it comes top 3. Sort never comes before count by, because think about this way, you cannot sort any data if you don't have the information how many numbers or occurrence of the data has taken place. So you have to first find out the number of the data, then you can sort the data. This is the same way, you have to first count the data, then you have to sort the data. After that, sorting the data, you can do the top 3 listings. So this is how it works. Count by always comes at the last. After the count by it comes a sort by, it comes the top listing, however you want to find it out. So let's say I need to create a dashboard. So to create a dashboard, what you can do is click plus new, click dashboard. So it will open a page. From here you can click on the dashboard here, it will automatically allow you to change the name to dashboard. You change the dashboard name to according to, so let's say tutorial. I want to give it an appropriate name like demo. So I just click outside of the box, it will save it, or you can save it here manually, but you don't need to do it. Then you can add panel here by default, and also you can define a time frame for here. Let's say I am working with 7 days data. I want to have a data dashboard for last 7 days. I'll define the last 7 days here. Okay, so I'll press enter. It will refresh dashboard after 7 days. You can always do hide variables options. So now let's go to, we want to add this dashboard so whenever you're creating a graph visual with your data, it calls it is called a panel. So when you go to dashboard, you can see it says add panel. You can copy the query from your log search and directly paste it into the panel here. Let's say I want to create a time series. I want to copy these portions, paste it in the panel here, press enter. It will give me a panel. Then I can, from here I can, panel setting, I can select a data table and add to the dashboard. This is one of the way, or you can just directly click on the add to dashboard. From here give it an appropriate name for the dashboard, user agent count, then select the dashboard tutorial. Then from here you can select time panel range, panel time range. I have talked about it in a previous video. You can take it a look about what it means. So then I can click on the add. So it will add the dashboard here. Then you can resize the dashboard according to your will. So one thing you have noticed that in the dashboard that we have created, that one I have it by default gives an untitled name. So if you want to change the name later or edit the query for the dash table, you can go to the click on this three dot, go to edit. From here you can select the general, change the dashboard name user agent count. You can just update it. Yeah, it updates the data. I mean updates the panel name, sorry. So in this way, what I can do is next create a panel for each of them. Count by Timeslice. Let's want to see a graph chart, line chart. Yeah, it's a nice one. Graph chart or no. So panel is a Timeslice count. I'll add it to the dashboard. Hide from the dashboard. Okay, done. So since I have two, I don't need one. I'll delete one of them. So I'll add to the dashboard. Next, what I'll do is create another one. You can keep anything, any other data other than count by when working with different data. So let's say I don't need the top three. You can add the dashboard same way. So for the GeoLookup map, I'll do the same. You can follow the same thing for the rest of the data. I'll press enter, change it, select the map chart here. It will give you a panel. You can do a zoom view, add to the dashboard. So source geolocation source IP, inherit add, tool add here. You can move the dashboard here. So you see, that's how you add to the dashboard. So in here I will conclude my video. If you have any questions or any things you want to clarify, let me know. I'll try my best to answer here. I'm getting hungry just by talking, so I'll end the video here. And if you have question, let me know. I'll try to answer in the comment, or however if I have to clarify you or answer your questions, maybe I'll create a video and answer it. But for now, I'll end the video. Thank you so much. Have a good day or good night.